Hello dear fans, friends and subscribers. This is your host Ram here with the daily cricket show, the Cricket Happening show today. A bit of a late here. And well, as far as today's Cricket Happening show is concerned, it's going to be the second day's play in the first test match between Sri Lanka and Australia. And well, one definitely had to eat our words. I yesterday said that probably if you have seen my Twitter, I tweeted that Australia will bat only once and wouldn't like to bat. But let me tell you, they would have never expected this. There was a real surprise for them in store. It was not only Rangana Herath who actually did the trick, but it was also Lakshan Sandakan. Lakshan Sandakan is a left-arm wrist spinner, so basically he bowls the Chinaman, and also on his debut, he picked up 4 wickets. And let me tell you, it was the spinners who really spun a web around the Australian batsman's feet and then picked up the wickets at a pretty regular intervals, and saw to it that Australia, one really surprised, and one has to really commend the way Sri Lankans are bowled, and especially considering that Australia bowled out Sri Lanka for 117, not a pitch that really was turning. It was all about a decent batting pitch, and a regulation turn was available, and one never thought that Australia would suffer such a fate. Let me tell you, they were 203 all out, and this after taking a 86 runs lead, a handy lead one could say, and Sri Lankans were 6 for 1 at close of play on the second day. So let's talking about the game today, Usman Khawaja and Smith, and let me tell you, what an irresponsible shot from Stephen Smith, the Australian captain, leaving his crease early in the morning and trying to clout Rangana Herath into the stands. And look at the outcome there. Chandimal behind the stumps, cleanly stumping him, and that was the big wicket. And Stephen Smith was the big wicket, no doubt, because he's a very good player of spin. And one did not know what was the basis on which Smith actually left the crease to have a tonk at Herath right at the beginning of the day. Probably could have waited, he could have settled down and then sussed up the pitch and then gone for it. And I'm sure Rangana Herath tempted Stephen Smith to go for the big one, and that was it for Stephen Smith. Scott Chandimal bowled Herath for 30 with 3 boundaries. Wicket number 3, 69 for 3 Australia. Khawaja was joined in by Adam Wojs. Adam Wojs and Khawaja started slowly pushing the score along. There's only 1 run added before Khawaja was a victim when he was LBW bowled Rangana Herath for 26. With 4 boundaries. After that, Adam Wojs and Mitchell Marsh, 2 new batsmen at the crease. So definitely Sri Lankans were doing well to have reduced Australia to 70 for 4 early in the morning. And then there was a partnership. It was a 60-run partnership that happened. It was actually a sort of a stitching partnership. It was from Adam Wojs and Marsh, and they were really contending with the spinners, and also the left arms. The left-arm spinner Lakshan Sandakan was into the attack, and Adam Wojs was trying to settle down. Mitchell Marsh also playing some strokes, but at the same time they were slowly trying to really push the score along. As they pushed the score along with 60 runs more added in 20 overs, and while that was going on, slowly they were getting into a bit of a recovery stage, one could say, but that recovery stage did not last long, because after 60 runs were added, it was the turn for Mitchell Marsh to live. Now this was Sandakan getting into the picture. Sandakan, as I said, he was making his test debut, and he has also got the best figures by a Chinaman on test debut, so he has definitely taken it there. He took 4 wickets for 58. As he went on to, now Mitchell Marsh was absolutely fooled. In fact, he bowled a beautiful delivery where Marsh actually playing down the wrong line. He thought the ball is going to go the other way, but in fact the spin, the ball swung the other way that probably Marsh expected, and it was gone. His timber was gone. Bowled with Sandakan for 31, and that was the maiden test wicket for Lakshan Sandakan. So Mitchell Marsh gone 31 with 5 boundaries. After that, now look at this. Adam Wojs, Peter Neville, the wicketkeeper, came And again, another irresponsible stroke, according to me, coming from Peter Neville. What is the reason? I mean, they were just 130 for 5, and Peter Neville, the wicket-keeper, does what already has not learned from what happened in the morning, and he has really shown a rush of blood and tried to actually give Herat the real go for a biggie against Herat. And well, that was it. Peter Neville would have been extremely disappointed as the ball actually settled into the hands of Pereira, and he was gone for 2, which made it 137 for 6. And with another 23 runs added, Adam Borges, who was actually the mainstay of the innings, also departed after making 47. It was Nuwan Pradeep who picked up his wicket with 5 boundaries. After that, it was Sandakan all the way. Sandakan cleaned up everything. In fact, first he picked up Steve O'Keefe, caught by Mendes. Now again, this was the thing. I mean, Sandakan was getting the ball to turn, and let me tell you, the Australian batsmen were definitely looking at ways and means to handle Sandakan, as Sandakan was really showing some very good bowling skills, and it was good to see, and everyone would have enjoyed it. And Australians were really struggling, they were really searching, one could say. And then Steve O'Keefe was the after that Mitchell Starc was again fooled by Sandakan, a googly coming in, and Starc actually putting it into Pereira's hands. And then Steve O'Keefe was caught by Mendes at 4 short leg of the bowling Sandakan for 23 with 1 boundary. Nathan Lyon was the last man to be out. LBW bowled Sandakan 17. So Sandakan was the one who actually cleaned up the tail, and Hazel was not out on 2. And Australia would have never even believed it, as the Australians were all out for 203, thus getting an 86 runs lead, a handy lead, I would say. But let me tell you, Australia, according to me, have really missed the big one here. As 203 all out, so Sri Lanka definitely requires extreme credit, according to me, because the way they have played, especially considering it's an inexperienced bowling attack, the batting is just on a learning curve. The spinners, Rangana had definitely agreed, but Lakshan Sandakan would have come as a big surprise. I thought it was a sort of a real surprise packet today coming in from Lakshan Sandakan, and Sri Lanka definitely unveiling him in the best possible manner, and he really showed some beautiful skills as he picked up 4 wickets for 58 runs, 21.2 overs in 3 maidens to become the to notch up a record, which was but there was a Chinaman bowler with the name Fleetwood Smith. He also picked up 4 wickets on his Test debut, but the only difference being that he gave away more runs than Sandakan. So Sandakan is the one now who holds the record for a Chinaman bowler to have 4 wickets for 58 runs on his Test debut, 21.2 overs in 3 maidens. Angelo Matthews 3 overs, 1 maiden, none for 6. Look at Rangana, had 25 overs, 8 maidens, 14 runs and 4 wickets, and he's going to be the main threat for the Aussies in this whole series, let me tell you that. But Sandakan has shown that he is going to be another one. Probably one could see if probably once the Australians get the measure of him, probably that will be a different picture altogether. It always happens to every bowler. When he comes, he really causes a big wave. We saw Janta Mendes do it in the past. So, but all the means, good credit, I would say, extreme credit to both the bowlers. Sandakan picked up 4 wickets for 58. Rangana had 25 overs, 8 maidens, 49 runs and 4 wickets, and 2 wickets to Nuwan Pradeep of 16 overs, and 14 overs, 1 maiden, none for 43 for Pereira, Matthews none for 6. So 203 all out, 86 run partnership, 86 runs lead being given, and in fact the Sri Lanka lost an early wicket as Kushal Pereira was actually, the dasher was actually promoted in the batting order, and look at what happened. Mitchell Starc got an in-swinger going, and he was gone. LBW, in fact, attempting a probably sort of a very aggressive shot. Pereira was gone. LBW bowled Starc for 4. Kaushal Silva was not on 2. That was it for that. That was stumps. As soon as that wicket went, the umpires lifted the bails, and those stumps were drawn for the day on the second day, with rain stopping play once again. 6 for 1, and so Sri Lanka still have 78 runs to wipe off the lead. 1 wicket for Mitchell Starc. But let me tell you one thing, dear fans and subscribers. and that is to say the Sri Lankans should be absolutely proud of this achievement. I mean, it has really come as a big surprise to Australia for sure, because the Sri Lankan team is full of beans. Definitely they will be full of beans here, because one is their pace bowling attack is totally crippled. They have gone with the spinners. Lakshan Sandakan definitely proving a surprise packet. The batting order is brittle as they are on a learning curve, and despite everything, their bowlers have really given them a chance. And let me tell you, if Australia have to do it quickly tomorrow, if they are going to allow this Sri Lankan innings to flourish, I would say it's not really a good news, because after and we know for a fact now in the fourth and fifth day we are definitely going to see some excruciating turn on this pitch, no doubt about it. And Lakshan Sandakan and Rangana Herath could prove they could cause a real havoc here, according to me. So now it is Australians who are to be very wary now. Probably one thought that Sri Lankans were the ones who were the very weak link here. And let me tell you, dear fans and subscribers, I have been proved absolutely wrong. I don't mind that, but what an excitement here with Australia being bowled out for 203 by Sri Lanka and then notching up 6 for 1. Well, my dear fans and subscribers, today time is a real constraint. I will have to wind up my cricket show, but again I have to give big credit to the Sri Lankans for doing this to Australia. And as I said, Australia have to really go for it tomorrow. They have to pick up the Sri Lankan wickets very quickly, lest I'm telling you that Australians, if at all they are caught on the fourth day, I'm sure they are going to face spin music from Sandakan after the way he bowled today on his debut, and then also Rangana Herath, we all know what he can do on the fourth and fifth day if the ball turns, Rangana Herath. So a real test for the Aussies, I would say. But all in all, a very interesting day's play coming up on the third day. Thanks for your company and thanks for watching Cricket Happenings. This is your host Ram bidding good night. Thank you.